Hey guys, I'm changing up the intro because I got bored of the last one. I'm your host, Michael.
I'm Eaton Mathis. How's your day been?
At least at this point, you won't even, give yourself the title co host. So, in a way, you think you've won, but in reality, you've just given all the power to me.
I don't want the power. This is your show, man. Samuel Johnson's birthday today.
Oh, it's so random and weird that you would bring that up. It's like we haven't talked about that.
Okay, for the record, we've been talking for the past 12 minutes because Michael's audio bugged up, like the Audacity was being stupid. So, I've been sitting here for 12 minutes waiting for him to fix up the audio.
It was funny because we brought up Samuel Jackson? Is that what it was? Johnson.
Very different people.
And he was like, oh wow, it's like the meme. He's like, I'm going to bring that up during the podcast. And I was like, he's going to try and bring it up and act like you never heard of it before. You think you have won, Aiden?
Samuel Jackson and Samuel Johnson are very different people.
Nah. They're like the same.
One of them is alive, for starters.
Wow, too soon.
At least from my current living standpoint, a very big difference. So what are we going to talk about today?
I don't know. At this point, if you're watching this, because I know you so love watching these podcasts, he's probably already bored and thinking, stupid. It's funny, it was after track practice, and he was like...
Oh, by the way, Michael does track.
Well, it's cross country, my bad. But I also do track. That's my bad, yeah. So, David was watching these videos. Like, where have all your videos been? I'm like, you can blame Aiden. Like, I actually just posted, 2 or 3 last night. He's like, wow. And so he, started watching them after practice, and I was like, is this the only good thing you have to do with your life right now? And he's like, yeah, it's pretty sad.
David, I love you. Man, why do you... I kind of want to start talking to David. He sounds like a very interesting person.
He's very negative about a lot of things.
I can appreciate that.
Not in the way he does. Or doesn't, for that matter.
Yeah. I did all my work for today, except for the podcast, obviously. Given that this is the first podcast we're recording today. The podcast. That's a different type of
It's like the same thing.
My friend's a vegetarian, and...
Nice segue.
I'm wearing a shirt that says, every day thousands of innocent plants are killed by vegetarians. Help end the violence, eat bacon. I know I struggled to read that a bit, but I'm reading it upside down, and I'm sorry.
So what does said friend think about said shirt?
Oh, she finds it funny.
That's
she
good.
can appreciate humor. I just think it's funny. I always find vegetarians very odd people.
Why so?
Because there are only a few reasons why people are vegetarians, and it's either for health reasons or for moral reasons.
But if it's the moral reason, why don't you just go all the way and be vegan?
Yeah, because, I mean,
I understand it's hard to go all the way to be vegan. But if you're really that worried about it morally to go vegetarian, why not go all the way?
Yeah, I mean, I would never be able to be vegetarian, I don't think, at least at this point in my life, because I don't, I find it necessary for things to eat other things. At least, given our current culture, at least, living in America.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand, actually, there's a third reason, and it's because people, it's really good for the environment. That's the other reason. Because about, the entire size of Africa,
yeah,
we use that much farmland just to, that's, how much farmland we use. And a large portion, not, actually just Africa, but, size comparison. And then we use a very large percentage of our food to feed our animals, which makes logical sense, because it's, it takes lots of food to make, for example, it takes 10 pounds of, cow meat to make 1 pound of tiger meat.
Mm-hmm.
Make sense?
Yes.
That's how food works. And then, so instead of eating the cow, we should just be eating the plants. So then it's a much more efficient caloric system.
Don't have to feed the cow to feed the tiger.
I've never actually met a person who's a vegan or vegetarian for that reason. But if you really think that's the case, then you should probably just be vegan. If that's the reason why you're going vegetarian, because then you're just
reaching for things. The plants are dying.
But then when it comes to people talking about the suffering of animals, I've always found that that's a valid point. But
I knew the butt was coming. I knew it.
Sorry?
I knew the butt was coming because you were like, I know, I've always found that a valid point.
But, because that's how I talk. I have, that's just how I'm thinking. I try to see both points of view. But when it comes to being a vegetarian, I never, if you care that much about, where do you draw the line between things that you don't care about and things that you do?
Yeah, because then it's like, well, what about plants? They're alive too, right?
Yeah, I mean, if you're to the point at which you believe that animals are living beings and on the same level as humans, because I agree that animals should not be mistreated for no reason. I feel as though animals should be raised and killed as humanely as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But you can, where do you draw the line? People will crush bugs and they don't care about it. Where do you draw the line of consciousness between...
Sorry.
Oh.
I was just gonna say, I saw a billboard, or it was a picture of a billboard, and it was like, where do you draw the line? And it had a picture of a chicken, pig, cow, and stuff, and then it went to horse and whale, and the person drew the line right between the cow and the horse, and he's like, right about there. The line's right there, actually. Found it.
But what's the difference between a horse and a cow?
Yeah.
Effectively.
Are
we judging it on intelligence? Because, it makes sense that most people agree that under almost all circumstances, it's not okay to eat people.
Mm-hmm.
Although I would argue that there are some exceptions to that rule, being emergency situations.
Very few, but some.
Very few, but some. I feel as though there's no such thing as strict morals.
Yeah. They don't exist, and if they do, you're probably the Pope.
Man, what if someone showed Pope Francis this video?
It's like, wow, guys.
Wow, guys. Whoa. Is he even Pope anymore? Is he still Pope? I think he is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
They cycle out. It takes a while.
Once in a while,
No, it takes a while for him to get a new one, so. And if he died, you would hear about it. Wait, what are you laughing about? I missed it.
Because they have to die or resign. That's the only way to get a new pope.
Yeah.
You just made it sound like it was a president or something. Nah, it's no big deal.
What was I saying?
Given that the majority of popes have died.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but also whoa, man.
They come and go, you know?
Oh man, I wonder if someone's gonna get mad at us.
Someone.
Someone.
No matter where you are, there's someone to be mad at you for it.
Anyway, what was I saying? I find that if you're measuring the morality of eating an animal by its intelligence, then I find it very hard to make a distinction, because I feel as though intelligence and consciousness are linked intrinsically, as in something that is smarter is in my definition, more conscious.
Yeah.
And you can define intelligent or smart in different ways. Yeah. I would argue logical thinking. I think that's the very basic way to do it. I think there's more to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a very simple way to put it. Logical thinking, logical deduction.
I think intelligence is relative, because how smart what's the cow of the sea? What's it called? They live in Florida. Manatees. Manatees. They're kind of smart, they do, but they don't have many predators, and they kind of just mosey around and do nothing. But now, the tiger or whatever, the biggest predator of the jungle, Like, they're just considered really smart. The only difference is that they have different life circumstances. So you can't say one is smarter just because it has to deal with more.
Would you apply that to humans?
Yeah.
Guys, consider this. A hardworking human who does lots but isn't as intelligent, are they as conscious as a intelligent human who does nothing?
Depends on how intelligent and how non-intelligent the two people are.
Okay.
Because it's like, if the hardworking, like, if let's say they're a construction worker, and they have a literal IQ of 8.
Whoa. Okay.
Exactly.
I don't think you understand. That's okay.
I know how IQ. I'm saying like they just don't know anything. Like, I'd say they're still conscious. I mean, it depends on what you know, because that's another thing that we were trying to talk about: intelligence and knowledge. That knowing things makes you smarter. But it depends on what you know.
For the record, I'd like to state that all humans, like Homo sapiens, have value. I feel as though humans by themselves have an inherent value from a practical point of view, at the very least.
Every species, the citizens are valued.
Yeah. So even if someone, I think we're attributing societal worth to intelligence. Because I think we're mixing in the factors of hard work and intelligence.
Yeah.
Which I've been sitting on this idea for a while, but think of like an equation almost, because there's like the joking equation that, you know, comedy times tragedy, or time times tragedy equals comedy. It isn't an actual formula, but it's
you tried to make it into one for a little bit.
Oh yeah, I haven't done it yet, but that's still on the back burner. Whenever I'm bored, I think about that. But, wait, what time is the podcast at?
12 minutes.
Oh, Jesus Christ, okay. But I feel as though there is a equation for someone's worth to society. And it goes by intelligence to work put in.
Okay.
Equals equals value.
You were trying to say societal success, and I heard you struggle.
Yeah, because I'm sorry, I was kind of burping, but not really. It was, yeah. But does that make sense? Would you agree?
Yeah, for the most part. But, I mean, I don't think there's people, I mean, as much as people are numbers, because everything is numbers, technically, and literally. Like, people, I just don't think you can value, like, it's very hard to value things. Especially something as complex as a human, because humans don't just follow a base model other than physically. Like, every single one is completely different.
Well, not completely.
I would say completely.
Really?
I mean, unless they're an identical twin.
I would argue that humans can vary. I think all of them vary, again, unless an identical twin. Actually, technically, including identical twins, because they can vary in intelligence and, you know, so that sort of thing. But physically, I would agree that almost all humans vary in some ways, but I would not say that completely, because the majority of us have, you know, arms.
Well, I mean, yeah, of course, physically, because that's how, like, any animal works.
Okay, you're referring to mentally?
Yeah, mentally.
Oh, okay.
No human is the same mentally.
I was like, are some of us horses? Whoa.
No, I meant mentally.
Okay.
And you can't put a value to that.
But we do.
But you can't. Yeah, and that's how society works.
I would argue that the engine of capitalism is a way to judge a person's worth.
Yeah, definitely.
Because, for example, because that actually is, oh my god, I just realized something. Capitalism is the equation I just talked about. It's intelligence times work put in.
Yeah, equals value.
And it equals, instead of societal success, I guess you could argue that as well.
Yeah.
It's money. It's like a literal...
yeah, like a net worth is directly correlated with that.
Yeah. So, capitalism's one step ahead of me.
It's almost like it's been in the works for many, many years. It's almost like it's completely taken over everything.
At least in America.
Wow!
I think that actually says something a lot about me, at least me being raised in an American capitalist central society. That was the way I decided to measure a person's worth.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure. I have no data to back that up. I'm just thinking I'm going to look into that more. But I do think it's interesting looking on that observation that that's the first conclusion I came to.
Yeah. Well, because there's also like a lot of different variables that go into worth, like someone's assets, who they know, what they know, which I guess would tie into intelligence.
I think there's three main attributes to a person. There's the physical side of them, which can be looked at as either beauty or bronze, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Again, this is an oversimplification. There's the mental side of them, which is social and logical thinking. And then there is the, I think that's really it. I think that's the four main factors that make up a person. Like, you can break those down further. You can do that for days.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel as though if you wanted to get a very simplified version, actually, there's one last one: creativity, which you could argue is part of intelligence, like part of that area,
nah,
like mental.
I don't know.
But I wouldn't. I feel as though there have been many people who I'm about to say min-max, but
It's not.
There have been many people who I know that are incredibly intelligent but have no ideas, or people who are incredibly creative and have many ideas but are intelligent enough to act on them.
Us.
But yeah, I think that's actually part of the reason why people need to work together, like as society. I feel as that's one of the most important things about humanity is that we work together. And you know what people don't do? I was gonna put an asterisk in there for the record. Also, well, sorry, I don't mean to keep on asking.
17 minutes.
17?
Yep. When it gets to 20, I'll let you know.
Sorry. I just get paranoid.
Sorry.
Yeah, this has actually been a really interesting episode so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it so far. Yeah, but I should say, I'm trying to think how to word this. Do you have any thoughts while I'm thinking?
Thoughts on what?
Thoughts on what we've been talking about so far?
Societal worth? Or social value?
All of it, honestly.
Oh, I don't know. I think everything depends.
That's fair. I know there's a word in philosophy for that, where there is no set value to everything.
Yeah, nothing is always gonna be that one thing. I mean, unless it's like a scientific law. But even then, you never know. The universe is infinite.
Actually, scientific laws can change technically.
Exactly. There's no reason.
They're expected not to. Obviously.
There's no reason why it can't. The universe is infinite. Why can't there be a planet where gravity just doesn't exist, even though it's orbiting a star or whatever? You know.
Yeah. I've always wondered, what was I gonna say? What if there was a society? I think from a sociology, not sociology. I think I'm trying to think how to word this, because I think if we found a society, assuming millions a year in the future, thousands of years in the future, and hopefully we're still not using the year systems by that point, but
that would be really complicated. It's your 8,000,092.
But
and it would still be based around Jesus Christ. The Christians won. They won everything.
I really like the idea of starting the calendar at the first known human building site construction project. It's it was I think it was 10,000 years before BC. I think that, don't quote me on that, but I think that was it. But there was a building, they found ruins of a building, and it's assumed it's the earliest known man's construction project.
That's pretty cool.
Being a building, I believe it was a temple, if I'm not mistaken, to forgotten gods at this point.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting thing that I really like the idea of starting our calendar there. So, for example, and I know it was 10,000 years ago because like this year would have been 12,017. That's what their count, like that calendar thought of would be. There's actually a Kursagat. I can't pronounce her name.
By the way, there's 1 minute left.
Oh Jesus, there's a Kursagat video. I can't pronounce her name, but they have it on like what the calendar should be. It's very good. That's actually where I heard of the idea first.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I hope you guys like this episode. It's a bit different from what we usually do.
We're talking. Well, I guess they're all talking, but more talking.
Talking. I get what you mean, but
like meaningful talking. Oh, funny story. Today at lunch, Liam died.
Oh yeah, he had the worst voice crack.
Basically, he was saying, "Why do you care?" Well, too late to talk about it now. We'll talk about it next episode. I've been your host, Michael, co-host Ian, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Thank you for watching. See you on the next one.